Morning, USA Made here. Another knife review. We're gonna do the Cold Steel AK-47 Mini. This is a gorgeous knife. Absolutely, I think it's beautiful. The way the lines go across the blade through the handle, beautiful. Great ergonomics. There you go. I have medium-sized hands. Now, my whole hand does not fit on the knife. My pinky's kind of left over here straggling. But if you need to choke up, you can do that. Push your finger up here. Now, you use this little thumb plate. See, kind of extends across the knife. There you go. You can see thumb plate is almost jumping, not quite. Now, I wouldn't want to be doing a stabbing motion with this because I fear my index finger sliding up against the knife. Let's go through the pros and cons. Pros: aggressive G10. I like that. Get your skin gripping up against that. Not much movement. Feels good. Really hard G10. Pivot screw there. Alright, there's no liners. Alright, it is just G10. 100% G10 handle. Alright, so really thick stuff. You have this aluminum pommel down here. There you can go. Kind of hard against that black and white. But, see, there you go. It is hard. You can sure as hell hit somebody with it nice and hard. There you go. Now people say, oh, this really aggressive G10 is going to tear up my jeans or tear up my pants. No. If you're like me, I really don't deploy my knife more than 3 or 4 times a day. Unless I'm wearing, breaking in the knife, getting the pivot point really good, oiled up and getting worn through. Yes, it will tear up your pants if you're deploying it 20, 30 times a day. That seems a little ridiculous in my opinion. You're going to open it that much. But going through the jeans that I wore, breaking these in, a few pair, it showed a little bit of wear, but I was deploying it a lot. You have a left and right little pocket clip. This is a really good pocket clip. Really hard. It is. This you can loosen this clip up, put it in this a vice grip, and bend it back. That'll help you from tearing up your jeans, but you stand the chance of maybe losing it a little bit easier. Now, surprisingly, I've only had this knife about a year and a half, but I've been gone for the last year off on duty, and I haven't worn this knife too much. Very light use. Now we're gonna move on to the cons, and unfortunately, this knife does have cons, and plenty of them. For me, this thumb plate is not the fastest way to deploy your knife. That's okay, because it can be used as a wave motion off of your pocket. Now when you wave it, it is lightning fast, and the sound that it makes is just wicked. It locking up. But for just trying to deploy it in your hand, let me see if I can. Not very fast. You have to use a lot of wrist motion. So, and then now, like I said, I haven't used this knife too much, and not in a hard use at all. Opening boxes, very little hard use to none. Okay, and listen. You hear that? Yeah, there's something loose in there. Some loose spring, or there's something in there that's, causing rattle. Now the knife itself is working really good and it's fine. But, if you're trying to be a little bit stealthy, I wouldn't want to take this on deployment with me, because it'd be rattling around. It doesn't rattle when it's shut. So you got something loose in the spring area. Now, this lock back, it's a stiff one. You gotta put some muscle into it to close it. That's fine. I don't want my knife closing on me accidentally if my So that's fine. It's not a big gripe on mine. Now the biggest gripe, and it's not huge in my opinion, but some people might have a problem with it, being that this is not a cheap knife. You're getting a lot for your money. I mean, the blade is 2.75 inches long, and it's 7.13 inches in total length. And I'm going to bring out that dollar bill again. See, there it is. So it's a little bit longer than the dollar bill, but here's my gripe, and it's a big one. And not in my opinion, but I have seen people, say, "Oh my gosh, you should send that knife back." It shows use, shows character, but not hard use. But let's see if I can't get this thing to focus. Oh, first time. All right, look at that. This high gloss covering on this blade is chipping, and it chips really easily. Now, if I want, my knife to look real good and black, for the rest of its life, and it's not going to. It's exposed it to rust, but like I said, it's not a big deal to me. I use my knives to use them. I'm not a collector of knives just to put them in a box and never look at them. I use my knives thoroughly, off duty and on duty. Pocket clip is covered in the same thing. You can see that chips off really easily. You can see it better on the pocket clip. So those are my gripes about this. And this knife, like I said, is not cheap. It's $55 on my supplier's website at yourcornerstore.com. $55. And with a $55 knife, the steel's good. It's AUS 8. So you're getting a good steel, and you're getting really thick, aggressive G10, but you're not getting much blade. You're getting really, that 2.75 inches blade. And guess what? Now, this is not a big deal in my opinion, but it's not even made in America for $55. I'd hate to see what it was if it was made in America. Now, on Cold Steel's website, it's listed as $100 for the Mini. I wouldn't pay $100 for this knife, and again, if I would have seen a video showing, the stuff that I'm showing, I would not have bought the knife in the first place. But it's relatively light. It's 3 ounces. So, and the blade thickness is 3 millimeters. So, in my opinion, I'm going to rate this knife at a 5 to a 6. Not a great knife. I still carry it because I like that wave action. I like how you can deploy it really easily, but it's not a one-handed closing either. So, there you go. Cold Steel AK-47. Decent knife, not worth the money. Thank you. This is USA made.